Hey everyone, this is Chuck Drews here, product manager at Fleetio. I'm excited to walk you through the new improvements we've made to service tasks to make them more comprehensive of both linked parts and expected labor hours. So let's go ahead and jump in. When you're adding or editing a service task, what you're going to notice on the form itself is two new cards, one for parts, one for expected labor hours. In this case, we have an example service task for a windshield wiper blade replacement. And in these cases, maybe you'll always be using the same parts and quantity of parts. So let's say you're using 2 windshield wiper blades, and you're also going to be using some windshield wiper fluid to replenish as well. And then let's say, this task really shouldn't take more than 15 minutes at any given point in time. So that's a quarter of the labor hour that's expected. You can save your service task. Of course, when you see the show page here, you'll see the linked parts and expected labor hours. And as you navigate back to your service task index, you'll notice 2 new columns, expected labor hours and the number of linked parts for any given service task that you have set up. The goal here is to make things easier for folks while they're creating work orders, so they don't have to manually be searching for parts repetitively, and to also analyze how often these tasks are being performed within the expected number of labor hours versus longer than expected. So when you navigate over to create or edit a work order, if you go ahead and add a service task that has linked parts or expected labor hours, like our windshield wiper blade replacement, you'll notice that the parts get added automatically. Depending on your inventory valuation method, you may be required to add a part location. And there you go. No more searching for your parts manually. Just set your part locations and you'll be good to go. Additionally, when folks are adding labor to these service tasks with expected labor hours, let's say Charlie Jones here spends 1 hour on this particular service task. You'll notice that we've highlighted it in yellow and displayed for him to say, hey, the hours exceed the labor hours in the service task settings. Whereas if we say this took 3 hours, you'll notice we highlight it blue. Hours are below the expected labor hours in the service task setting. So this should help for your team of mechanics and technicians, anyone logging labor time entries, help them set expectations and understand what expectations are for them from a labor hours perspective. And then when you save these work orders, you're also going to have an assortment of reporting across several different reports that encompass service tasks. So in this case, what we're looking at is our labor time entries report. You'll notice we have our service task, a new column for expected labor hours, and we have a duration column that's existing as well. So in this case, you could see the expected number of labor hours for this example. The ABS control module replacement is 3. Wow, this took, Charlie Jones here, 18 hours. That's longer than expected. This should help folks analyze what's taking longer than expected. Is it new tools they need? Is it training? Are they just inefficient at what they're executing on? So this is not the only reports. Really, everything that has technician labor time entry reporting and service tasks in it, you'll be able to get the expected labor hours reporting for your service tasks. So to recap, you could now link required parts to your service tasks. You could set expected labor hours. Parts get added to work orders automatically when you use those service tasks. And the expected number of labor hours are displayed for both the mechanics and technicians while creating work orders, as well as fleet managers and other folks that are looking at reports to understand how often folks are completing tasks within the expected number of labor hours. More updates to come for these service task improvements in the future. Hopefully this has helped pretty well. Thanks.